Well, war and peace is actually a term that I came up with. And for me, it means, why are we at war? Under what grounds do we get peace? And it's interesting that a lot of Congress people do not understand this concept at all. I sat in on a meeting of a prominent congressperson in this state, and she knew very well the domestic issues. And I asked her, well, what do you think about war and peace? She said, tell me what that means. Well, it means basically our foreign policy, our national defense policy. Under what grounds do we wage war? And I first became aware of this issue, well, during World War II, which was our last declared war. In World War II, we declared war against the Axis powers. We won that war in 4 years. We basically covered almost every country in the world that was involved in this war. And we won this war. Now, everybody was behind it. We had Victory Gardens, we had Rosie the Riveter, we had rationing, we had war bonds. Nobody was against it. If you were against it, you were considered a traitor. Then we had North Korea. Oh, okay. So, the soldiers, Chinese soldiers, came across the Yalu. President Truman refused to stop them. General MacArthur said, it's simple. We simply take out the Chinese on the other side of the river as they come across, before they come across. But Truman said, no, we can't do that. That would be infringing on their space. Well, if you were waging war, you would do this. You would stop everybody who's against you. But we weren't at war. We were engaged in this no-win, politically motivated war. So we lost it. We didn't lose it. We came to this truce. There was never any peace treaty, but just a truce. Now, 50 years later, we still have the same problem. We still have the same gang running North Korea, the same enemies that are now threatening us with nuclear weapons. When I was in the ROTC in college, I got a perfect score in the pilot test. And 2 captains and a major were trying to convince me that I should fly their airplanes. And I said, well, you know, and this was after the Korean War. I saw what happened in the Korean War. I saw what happened to the bridges at Tokiri. Now, the bridges at Tokiri, and this is a true story, a movie was made out of it. We had to fly our fighter bombers down the North Korean side of the Yalu River, not the Chinese side. We couldn't fly this way, we had to fly this way, and we couldn't infringe on Chinese airspace. So once the Chinese figured this out, they set up their anti-aircraft guns on their side of the river and were shooting our airplanes down. Eventually we couldn't stop the Chinese, and eventually we came to this truce thing. Now, if MacArthur had been allowed to stop the Chinese, we would have taken all of Korea, there would have been a unified Korea, and we would have had one big happy country. Right now we got half a happy country in South Korea, North Korea is a zero. And we did the same thing in Vietnam, only it was even worse in Vietnam. We actually won that war militarily, but we lost it in Congress because of people like Jane Fonda that went up to Hanoi and sabotaged our prisoners. So Congress decided to give the country to the North Vietnamese. And when the Viet Cong general was summoned, he thought we were summoning him to surrender because he knew he had lost the war militarily. But no, we told him we were giving them the country. He was flabbergasted. He wrote this in his memoirs just recently. Terrible. 60,000 American people, soldiers, died in that war. And Congress, the traitors they are, gave it to the enemy. Terrible. Now, here we are in Iraq and Afghanistan, repeating the same mistakes we did in these other 2 wars. The same mistakes. Undeclared war, no objectives. Why did we invade Iraq? Well, because he had these weapons of mass destruction. But we didn't declare war, and on who, and what were the grounds, and who are we fighting, and who would be supporting who. So 9 years later, we still don't have declared objectives, except that now we've got something that looks like it might turn out to be a democratically elected state in Iraq, a stable one, maybe. Except our friends in Saudi Arabia are still allowing terrorists to go and bomb Iraq and bomb us in Afghanistan. If I had my way, we would have, when the Twin Towers were attacked, look at the difference. On December 8th, 1941, after we were attacked at Pearl Harbor on December 7th, the day after, Congress declared war on the people that attacked us. On 9/12, after the 9/11 attack on the World Trade Towers, we did what? Nothing. Except, think about it. What are we going to do? Well, we should have declared war immediately on the people that attacked us. And some people told me, Jim, you can't declare war on a movement that's not a country. Sure you can. We declare war on Al-Qaeda if they're the true culprits, and we wipe them out. I say, well, there's no peace treaty to sign, there's no country. This war will be over when we declare it's over, when the last desert rat crawls back into his foxhole and gives up on the war. That's when it will be over. But unless we declare war on these guys, we're going to be constantly at their mercy, fighting them wherever. Afghanistan, Iraq, Yemen, maybe in Yale, Harvard, Princeton. They're sending their terrorists over here now, you know. We're bringing them in. We're bringing in Muslim activists. And look at this Fort Hood thing. We had one there. He went on berserk and started killing soldiers. We're going to start fighting this battle on our own turf if we don't get serious about this and stop these people. And it's not like we're against Muslims. It's okay to be a Muslim. Your freedom of religion is allowed. But if you're going to become a terrorist and try and put your religion and make our nation a Muslim nation, you're wrong. We're going to stop you. And we've got to have an effective action which is going to stop these people from attacking us at home and subverting us and subverting our institutions. And it's really terrible. I just agonize over this, the soldiers that are killed. Brian Bradshaw was born on 3rd Street, across from me. He lived, he died while I was living here. He was a lieutenant leading his troops in Afghanistan. He didn't take a public opinion poll to see if the time was right to fight and who to fight. He went into battle, he lost his life, and now those people have got a gold star to show for it. For what? What did he accomplish? Why are we spending the lives of our soldiers in a no-win, politically motivated war? Well, what's going to happen, inevitably all this, is that our commander is going to decide when the time is politically right to just give up and bring the troops home because the people are tired of losing their loved ones in a war that has no definition. If this war had been defined, we would have gone over there, wherever, and wiped out these guys who attacked us. And I can't see that the war would have taken more than just a few months to a year. We would have had these guys knocked. So the bottom line is, if you're going to wage war, commit our troops to battle, declare war, have firm objectives, achieve the objectives, bring the troops home. And we can still do that. We could declare war on our enemies, wage a war on them, win the war, and bring our troops home. That's my plan.